The popular quote, choose a job you will love and you will never have to work again. Well, today we would like to invite on stage Anna Black. Anna is a career counselor, coach, and ex-geophysicist. She spent 14 years in the corporate mining before figuring out what was important to her and doing a U-turn towards the work she loves. Anna guides other mid-career professionals through the process of self-discovery to get them out of jobs they don't care about and into careers which make them happy. She also consults with organizations promoting career development and diversity within their teams. She holds a Master's of Career Development, has worked in university career guidance at UWA, and is a professional member of the Career Development Association of Australia. She is also an amateur Latin dancer. So please welcome, with a round of applause, Anna Black.
Hello everybody, and what a wonderful introduction to Naari this afternoon. I'd really love to thank Papori and Niv in particular for inviting me to speak today, and for everyone for turning out to listen. Also to my dear friend Asmita for the dress. She bought me this years and years ago, and I finally got an occasion to wear it. And my friends Sue and Amy for coming along to give me a hand today. Thanks, ladies. I really identified with that comment about having women supporting you in your career. So like the introduction said, I'm going to be talking about finding a career you love today. And I want to share 3 secrets to finding a career you love. And before I jump into the content, I just want to clarify who this will help. Okay? This is for anyone, and men too, by the way. I know it's a women's event, but absolutely for men too. If you're unhappy and dissatisfied in your work, if you're returning to work after a career break and thinking perhaps you might not want to go back to what you've previously done, if you're unhappy or dissatisfied for any reason, or if you're actually starting out your career and you're unsure about the path to take, then this is absolutely for you. Thank you. Okay, can everyone hear me okay now? Awesome, thank you. Okay, so anyone who's unhappy or dissatisfied in their career and confused about the best path forward for them, then this is absolutely for you. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to be sharing these 3 secrets with you. Firstly, how to discover the career that will make you jump out of bed on a Monday morning. Who doesn't want that? Secondly, how to find realistic options, especially if you need to maintain your current income. This is something many people are concerned about, that they might find something they would really love to do, but it's not going to pay the bills. Thirdly, how to become 100% confident and avoid making a costly mistake. So confident in the plan you come up with, the career decision that you make, the thing that you choose to follow. Okay. So I'll just tell you a little bit more about myself and why you should listen to me. So as per the introduction, I'm a career counsellor, I'm a businesswoman, I've had my own business for 3 years. I'm also an ex-geophysicist. I'm a successful career changer, so I've made quite a dramatic career change in my own life. I've helped dozens of professionals make life-changing career decisions through my programs. I'm Masters qualified in career development, a professional member of the CDAA, and I absolutely, most importantly, love the work that I do. Okay? But it wasn't always that way. I started out as a geophysicist in the mining industry, as I've already mentioned. I had great opportunities. I travelled, I had flexibility, I had fantastic colleagues. I even got recognition for the hard work and the potential that I had in the organisation. And here are a few snaps from those early days. So this was from a secondment I had in Vancouver, going underground in a diamond mine near the Arctic Circle. And this is the view from my office in Perth, which is pretty fantastic. I was there for 6 years. But like I say, I found myself eventually wondering, is this it? I'd lost my motivation, I didn't value the work I was doing, and I wanted more from my career. I had so many wonderful things. I was kind of living the corporate dream, if you like. From the outside, it looked amazing, but I didn't value what I was doing, and it was really important to me to find the thing I really was kind of meant to do, find something meaningful and worthwhile. When I started trying to figure out what that was, I ended up going round in circles. I'd spend hours at a time trawling Seek and Indeed, looking for jobs, trying to find the answers on the internet. I did all the online quizzes, and I only got more frustrated and confused. Eventually, I found a fantastic career counsellor who understood me, who knew what I needed and really helped me out. And after following her advice and working through the process I'm going to show you today, and within just a few weeks, I actually got really clear on what it was that I wanted to do and what was going to be the best fit for me. Because once you have a clear plan and you know where you're going and you have that clear direction, everything else is simple, okay? And I'm going to show you a process that you can follow. It's really straightforward, it's really simple, because I want to create and develop this process to allow anyone who wanted to find the career that they would really love, find that absolute best career path, the thing that was going to fit them the best. So let's jump into those secrets. So firstly, how to discover the career that would make you jump out of bed on a Monday morning. The mistake most people make when they're unhappy or dissatisfied and they don't know what to do is to think, where are the jobs? What could I do? Who would employ me? They start looking for what's available and where their skills could be applied. But that just leads to a world of pain and kind of going into the black hole of Seek and spending hours and hours on the internet trying to find that dream job. It's not the answer. There's a much better way. The better way to go about it is through the process that I've developed, and hopefully you can see a screen here, but there are 6 steps in the process to figure out what's ideal for you. The first is to explore your preferences, so getting a really good understanding of who you are, what you're interested in, what motivates you, what tasks you like doing, putting those all together and really getting that deep self-understanding. The second step is to define what your ideal work actually is. Come up with a description of what it is. The third is to generate ideas. Okay, so you've got a description of what this work, the ideal work would be, but how do you translate that into actual jobs? Through brainstorming techniques, there's a whole range of methods to do that, which I'll talk a bit more about in a moment. You can easily come up with lots of different options that are going to fit your ideal. You evaluate those options, and then once you can make a decision and say, yep, I can see this is the best option for me, then you can start planning that transition and figuring out how you're going to get there, put together the actions, and make the change. Okay? So it's a really simple process, but it's counterintuitive. It's starting with thinking about what you actually want, what's important to you. Okay? And then translating that into what roles are out there or what you can do with that, rather than starting with, well, what are the opportunities? Okay? Much more difficult to do it that way around. Okay, so the second secret, how to discover realistic options, even if you may need to maintain your current salary. Like I said, a lot of people say, well, I can't change, I can't do something different because I need the money. I can't lose the salary that I've currently got. Well, I want to kind of bust that myth because it's not the case. Once you really, truly understand what it is that you want, you can come up with dozens of options that will actually get really close to ticking all the boxes. Okay? And I'll show you an example. When I went through this process, I was really keen to find something that combined my interest in people and careers and organisations with the tasks that I like to do, which is the counselling, coaching, planning. Okay? And when I did that, when I went through the process myself, this is the list of options I came up with, and this isn't even all of them. Okay? So there's just 10 of the options. There are so many more on top of that as well. But as you can see, there's a heap of different options. It's not just one thing, and it's not just something that is unrealistic. Every single one of those options is a viable option. These roles exist here in Perth. I could absolutely have transitioned into any one of these. And actually, all but 2 of them have the potential to pay over $100,000 a year. Okay, so I really want to bust that myth of if I go and do what I love, I'm not going to be able to earn enough to pay the bills. And in terms of what's available, the other thing people say to me, there just aren't enough jobs out there. Well, 70% of jobs are never advertised. So there's always at least 3 times the number of jobs than there are advertised on Seek or wherever you might look online. Today, and I checked the numbers, there are 28,000 jobs available currently here in Perth. And there are 1,400 new opportunities every day. Okay? So I'm going to put my neck out there and say, if you cannot find opportunities, if you can't find the role that you're after and find something that is a really great fit for what you want to do, it's actually because you don't know what you're looking for, not because they're not out there. Okay, there's plenty of opportunities. Okay, moving on to secret number 3. So how to become 100% confident in your career plan and avoid making a costly mistake. Okay, what happens often with people is that they'll make a change, or they'll plan to make a change, and they might go back to uni and do a postgrad degree and spend a fortune and 1,000 hours it can take to get a master's degree, and then realise that actually that's not what they wanted to do. And it breaks my heart when people come to me in that situation because they don't have the opportunity to go back and do another course. Okay, so it's really important to get it right and get it right first time. But you can be super confident in what it is that you're going to do, in that career plan, in what you come up with, if you follow these 2 tips that I'm going to share with you now. So the first one is to use this model. Okay, and this is part of the process I showed you before. In that first step is exploring what you really love to do. And I use this model in that process. I call it the clover model because it looks a little bit like a 4-leaf clover. The first step in that, first component of that is really understanding well the tasks you most enjoy doing. What do you like to do on a day-to-day basis? Do you like talking to people? Do you like analysing data? Do you like writing? Whatever it is. What actual tasks do you love doing in your job? What environment would you most like to work in? What field are you most interested in? Okay, what's the content? What are you interested in? What kind of industry might you want to work in? And finally, the motivation. What motivates you? What do you want to get out of your work? Why is it important? Why do you go to work in the morning? There's a whole range of different things. You know, everyone's different. All of these things are completely different for different people. Okay, but you might be motivated by, having great relationships with the people around you. You might be motivated by achievement. Okay, you might be motivated by doing something really worthwhile that gives back to the community. You might be motivated by the money because it's important for you to provide a great lifestyle for your family. You'll pay the bills, okay? If you explore all these 4 areas and you align your work with your preferences, your personal preferences in these different 4 areas, then you can be really confident that you'll be satisfied in your work, okay? But you have to consider all 4 of these dimensions, okay? If you're misaligned with any one of these, that can result in dissatisfaction. Okay, so that's the first part. The second element to gaining certainty is to invest in expert help if you need it. If you find that you can't figure out this out on your own, you don't know what you want to do, then it's really important to get some support in that. I did that myself, and like I said, I struggled for years and years, probably 7 or 8 years, trying to figure out what I should do because I was dissatisfied with what I was doing. So if you don't know, and you can't figure it out on your own, it's really difficult to do it for yourself, for a lot of people, then invest in expert help, okay? It's so worthwhile. If you imagine yourself in a career that you really love, and that's something that you're going to do for 20 or more years, perhaps, even 10, that's well worth the investment, hey? Okay. Now, I just want to give you a couple of examples. I don't know how clear these are on the slides, but these are some examples of people that I've worked with. And I just want to tell you a little bit about what they've done. So Samantha, she was an engineer. She actually transitioned into a project management role. And she said she was converted by me in taking this approach because she became so certain in what it was she wanted to do that she had a conversation with a friend of hers and not even thinking about it kind of conveyed that certainty. He was asking what she wanted to do. She explained that. She said, down the track, I'd love to do a project management role. And she actually wanted to swap industries as well. And he told her about a role that was going in the company he was working at. She got that new role within a month. Okay, that was her 12-month goal. She got it in a month. The only reason being because she knew exactly what she wanted to do and she happened to have that conversation. Des, really wonderful man I worked with last year. He was in IT support. He decided he wanted to go into a management role. And he said I gave him the awareness, the tools and confidence to change career, and that he'd taken steps to make the transition easier, less risky, and more enjoyable. Okay, so he was able to do that because what he learned from me. And he said, I only wish I'd sought her assistance sooner. It was fantastic to work with too. And finally, Stephanie. Stephanie, she's a geologist. She's now moved into consulting. So she was dissatisfied but had no idea what to do, she said. After working with me, she said she had a clear sense of purpose and direction and the confidence to make the change. Yeah, so it's one thing to have the clarity, but you need to have that confidence and certainty to actually make the shift and start putting that into action. Okay, and she said my methodology made the whole process easy. So it is a really simple process to follow once you understand it. And I would love to share more about it with you. I've only got a few minutes, obviously, to talk with you right here now. But today you do have the opportunity to come and get my advice. I've got a stool just over on my left, your right-hand side of the room, just down here, second one along. Over there, you can learn more about finding the work that you love. I can talk to you more about this process. You can get the details of my free online webinar, which goes into this in a lot more detail. I've got a free resume guide you can sign up for, and I'm also offering an exclusive discount to Naari visitors today. So thank you very much. Just down on the left-hand side here, please come and say hello. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna, for the fantastic talk. We can now understand why strategic planning is extremely important for a successful career. I would like to invite Mrs. Satya Ambati to please felicitate Miss Anna.